Well, students, I'm excited to work on these dots with color mixing. We're gonna do a couple things. The first thing, if you didn't finish your dots, I will help you finish that part. I'm gonna have you start pretty much right away with this black oil pastel. Please remember that this can smear and make your paper messy, so don't rub your hand on it. We're gonna look up at the board. We're gonna make each of these lines in your background with a black oil pastel, make them really stand out. Now, if you are drawing your line, I would start right on the side and then press it on hard. When you get to a dot, I would stop. If you're not able to press it on hard enough, sometimes you can go back and forth on the line like I'm doing here. And then on the other side of the dot, keep going all the way to another side. If you gotta draw it on twice, please do that. Then move to your next line, which is your broken line. This one is an easy line to have go from a side and just go around the dots. Like I could have it go around the dots and make my way all the way to another side. You can see a little piece came off right there and right here. I'm not even gonna touch that right now. I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna make my dot, my dotted line now, and I'm gonna start on the side, and I'm gonna make a dot, and I'm gonna color it in. So make a circle, then color it in. Make a circle, color it in. And when you get to one of your colorful dots like this, just stop and then continue until you get to the edge of your paper. Look for my next line, which is a curvy line. So I've got a line here on the right. Let's put one on the left because I want to use the rest of my paper. So I'm going to draw this one. I got to that dot. So I'm going to go around it. Let's get to this dot. And let's get all the way to the side of my paper. Okay. Then I'm going to do my zigzag. It looks like I've got a line in the middle. Let's put a line on the top and maybe a line on the bottom. So let's do my zigzag. I'm going to zig it to that dot. I'll stop. Zig it to another dot. You can see I'm drawing it twice. And all the way to the side of my paper. And I've got two lines that are left. Let's do my looping line. And I think that I'm gonna loop this one. I'm trying to find a space on my paper that I haven't used a lot of. Looks like I've got space maybe like right here. Try to make your loop big enough. I'm gonna loop it right around the dot there. And I'm gonna loop it all the way to another side of my paper. Looks like I can even loop it down here too. And then my last one is wavy. Also, it's a good idea to remember that your lines are gonna look different than mine. So don't worry about it if your line looks different, that's cool. I like that all of our ideas are different and unique. So if your wavy looks different than mine, that's good. Now that I have all of my lines on here, you can just set your oil pastel aside and I will come get it. Now sometimes if you just pick up your paper, all that black that was on there just came right off. I don't really even need to shake it that much. It just comes right off without having to rub my hand on it because I don't want to do that. We talked about the color wheel, and today for the painting examples, we're gonna pick two that are next to each other. So I could do, and I might even ask you which ones you're gonna do. You might say, Mr. Jackson, I'm gonna do yellow and green, and I would say, great, and I would give you a brush so I know that those two colors are gonna mix well. Or you could say green and blue, because those ones would mix well, they're next to each other. We don't have purple paint, so we'll skip that one. I could move over here and do red and orange, or I could do orange and yellow, and pink is the same as red. So pink and red work good, pink and orange work well too. So before I give you a brush, I might just ask you which two you're gonna mix, and I am gonna look at the paint that I have. If you look at the paint and you say, oh man, I don't really have much blue, then maybe that one wouldn't be a good one to choose. But it looks like I have a lot of red. I'm probably gonna give you two paints. And I do have quite a bit of orange. So I think I'm gonna say red and orange because they're right next to each other and I have a lot of that paint. So I'm gonna start with my red. I'm gonna dip my brush in. Please do not splash it or bang it. And it drips, it's full of water. So wipe it off because we don't want these to fill up with water. And I'm gonna be really gentle. I can see that some of this paint has little cracks in the edges. I want to be careful not to break my paint. If you're breaking your paint, I might just take your brush back, and then we would lose our chance to do some really cool painting. So key is be gentle. Now I've got red on my brush, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around these dots first, because I don't want red to get all over them. And then I'm gonna go around this, and you can see I am getting paint on the table. That's okay with me, because this paint just wipes right up. I'm gonna go around this one. And then I'm gonna go around this one. And every time I go around a dot, I usually go back over here and I get a little more paint. You can also see that I haven't gotten any more water yet. I don't want my paint filling up with water, so I might just get a little bit of water. And now that I went around these, I'm gonna go around the edges of my paper too. Now, this is gonna make it so I can do a really great mix. So I've got all of those circled. I'm gonna rinse off my brush, and now I'm gonna do my orange, and it's gonna make this beautiful red-orange color. And watch how it's cool when the orange mixes with the red. So then those two colors go together and they start to mix. It looks kind of like a sunset, which is really cool. So I'm gonna start using these, still being really gentle with my brush. So let's listen to it when I get some paint. It should be a very quiet brush. And I love how around the dots is a little bit darker of the red, and then in the open spaces it's kind of a lighter orange. That's something called shading, where it kind of goes from dark to light. I'm definitely doing this faster than you should do it. Take your time, make sure that you're getting a beautiful mix, that you're being really gentle with your brush. Now, just like when we glazed your snowmen, part of doing a good job is gonna be to be patient. So if you get it all done, let it dry, and then it would be okay to put an extra layer of paint on it. So if I let it dry, then I'm just gonna put an extra layer of red on the red, and then I'm gonna put a little bit more orange on the orange, and that will help that mix even better. So, are you gonna tell me you're done? Nope. We could just put a little more red on the red if it's dry. I didn't let mine dry all the way because of the video example. I wanted to make it fast enough for you. But you should let it dry so we don't put a hole in your paper. But once it's dry, then I can put a little bit more. Oh, I forgot to do this. I forgot to go around the sides of my paper with my red. Then I can rinse off my brush, because I don't want the paint mixing here either. So try to keep your brush clean. You can see the orange is orange, the red is red. None of it's getting mixed here. The only mixing is what happens on your paper. So if you notice this is getting mixed up, then clean off and rinse off your brush. So now you can see just adding an extra layer of orange to the orange, and then I've got this beautiful red-orange color. Okay, so I probably will add more paint to this after it dries, but I want to give you guys some time to do your own. So let's have fun working on these. At the end, we will just put our brush in the water, and I will give you a towel so you can wipe off your spot, because you'll probably have some paint on your table. So let's have fun.